Hello, focused learners, and welcome back. Have you been scrolling through your feeds lately and just feeling like the internet is a total sea of noise? Like it's completely devoid of any real, genuine human connection? Well, trust me, you are absolutely not alone. But what if I told you the internet isn't actually dead? You've just been looking in the wrong places. Today, we're zooming in on an incredible issue from the weekly NishIsHere newsletter. In this explainer, we're going to explore the core theme of taking back control of our digital lives. We'll uncover exactly how we can shift from being passive consumers at the mercy of algorithms to becoming authentic creators who actually own our own spaces. Okay, let's dive right into this. We're kicking things off with this fantastic quote from Justin Welsh, which was actually the thought of the week in our source material. It reads, "Realizing that no one has it all figured out is the first step toward greatness." I absolutely love starting with this because it sets such a wonderful, vulnerable baseline for us. Navigating today's digital landscape, it can feel incredibly overwhelming, right? Especially when the rules literally seem to change overnight. But this quote is a great reminder that nobody, not the biggest influencers, not the massive tech giants, and definitely not us, has a perfect roadmap. Just acknowledging that fact is exactly how we free ourselves up to start building something genuinely great. To get us to that greatness, here is our beautifully structured roadmap for this explainer. Section 1, the web revival. Section 2, surviving abundance. Section 3, artistry pre-internet. Section 4, building a media empire. And Section 5, steps towards greatness. Let's jump right in to Section 1, the web revival movement. So you've probably heard of the dead internet theory, right? It's that kind of bleak idea that most of the web is just bots talking to other bots, leaving us humans entirely out of the loop. But our source material challenges this head-on with something called the web revival. It's defined as a movement toward personal websites offering space for creativity and connection, completely free from big tech platforms and data harvesting. Understanding this shift is absolutely crucial if you want to protect your digital identity and, honestly, your sanity. We're literally seeing a return to the early creator-owned days of the internet. It's the indie web. Instead of just renting space on these giant social media platforms where your data gets harvested and your reach gets strangled by some invisible algorithm, people are carving out their own little corners of the web. It's a real return to genuine human-to-human connection. Moving on to Section 2, surviving the abundance era. Now, to understand why this revival is happening right now, we really have to understand the disease we're fighting. Our source highlights some brilliant insights from creators Colin and Samir, who coined the specific struggle we're facing today as the abundance era. This is a period of internet content saturation, where our feeds are flooded with AI-generated slop. And what's really interesting is that specific word, slop. Because AI makes it so incredibly easy to pump out text, images, and videos, the internet is rapidly filling up with low-effort, mass-produced content. This total saturation completely destroys traditional notions of authenticity. Think about it. When you can generate 1,000 blog posts in a minute, how does a real, actual human voice cut through all that noise? As a modern creator or a business, you essentially face a choice between two paths. On one hand, you could try pursuing massive scale. But honestly, fighting an algorithm that's already flooded with AI slop is just a losing battle. On the other hand, you can focus on cultivating scarcity through deep connections with a niche audience. This right here is the absolutely vital takeaway. Cultivating scarcity is the strategic, sustainable way forward. It's not about trying to reach millions of passive scrollers anymore. It's all about fostering a deep, meaningful connection with a small, dedicated audience who actually cares about your unique human perspective. Which naturally begs the questions, how do you stand out in such a saturated era? What does unmatched artistry look like when you entirely strip away the algorithms, the social media, and the AI? Well, to find the answer, sometimes we have to look backwards before we can move forwards. That brings us to Section 3, artistry before the internet. To really understand true connection, the newsletter points us to the absolute ultimate case study in raw, pre-internet authenticity. Michael Jackson hit a level of artistry that seriously hasn't been touched since. Think about this for a second. He commanded this electric stage presence long before the social media boom ever happened. He could literally make an entire stadium lose their minds just by standing perfectly still on stage. There were no viral tweets, no TikTok dances, no algorithmic hacks. It was just pure, unmatched talent and a truly magnetic human connection. Our source points out how exciting it is that his upcoming biopic will actually feature his own nephew playing him. It honors an era of authenticity that we desperately need to study today, because you can't fake that level of artistry, and AI certainly cannot replicate it. Let's shift gears to Section 4, building a media empire. Okay, so while Michael Jackson shows us pure artistry, how do we actually translate that into modern business ownership? Let's look at the brilliant strategy of Reese Witherspoon. She started as an A-list actress, specifically known for playing underestimated women. But the thing is, she didn't just wait around for Hollywood algorithms to hand her the right parts. Instead, she took total ownership. She went out and built a massive media empire called Hello Sunshine. And by doing so, she basically revolutionized Hollywood. She championed women's stories, the kinds of stories that traditional gatekeepers were completely ignoring, and she proved that these narratives are not only vital, but they are incredibly financially successful. She cultivated her niche, she fostered deep connections through those stories, and she built her very own space.
Now for the tactical part. Section 5. Steps toward greatness.
So, how can you actually apply these lessons of ownership today? Well, it connects directly back to that web revival we discussed earlier. You need your own space. And the source material highlights exactly how to do it, even if you aren't a coding genius. Step 1. Use an interactive website builder like Dark. Step 2. Utilize Dark in AI to help you write compelling copy. And Step 3. Launch a stunning personal space with just a click. The tools literally exist right now for you to easily own your internet footprint. You don't have to be at the mercy of big tech platforms. You can build your own digital kingdom, just like Reese built hers.
And as you're building that personal space, keep this quote of the week from the newsletter in mind. It's by Stein Norman, and it says, "Each failure makes you better." Building a personal brand, a business, or even just a genuine little corner of the indie web, it isn't going to be flawless on day one. But remember our very first quote? No one has it all figured out. Every stumble, every failed experiment on your new website, it's all just making your artistry and your strategy that much sharper. It really brings our entire narrative arc right back full circle. Now, this entire explainer was built on the brilliant curation found in the weekly NishIsHere newsletter. If you want to stay ahead of this abundance era and continue taking back your digital life, you gotta join over 2,000 curious minds who are doing exactly that. You'll get curated weekly insights covering tech, the creator economy, pop culture, and business, all delivered right to you. I highly encourage you to visit NishIsHere.com today to subscribe and support this absolutely amazing work.
So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. The internet isn't dead. You're just looking in the wrong place. We've seen the proof today, right? From the rise of the indie web to the enduring power of raw artistry and the brilliance of strategic ownership. The blueprint is right there. So the only question left to ask yourself is, are you ready to build your own space and find the revival? Thanks so much for learning with me today, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.